Hi there, smart drivers. 5 tips for driving on 2-lane roads and keeping yourself safe and significantly reducing your chances of being involved in a crash. Despite the myth of what most people believe, these are the roadways where most fatal crashes occur. Tertiary and secondary roads where it's 2-lane traffic, modern traffic, dry roads, good conditions. This is where most of the fatal crashes occur. Tip number 1 for driving on 2-lane roads. Look for the intersections, and when it goes from 2 lanes to 1 lane, it is an intersection. You want to identify the intersections as you're driving along the highway. Intersections are where you are going to meet other road users, cyclists, pedestrians, farm equipment, e-scooters, all these types of different kinds of traffic that are driving on the roadway. That is tip number 1 and one of the most important when driving on 2-lane skinnies, as they're called in the trucking industry. Tip number 2 is space management. Have your following distance. 3 to 4 seconds is ideal. You should be using the throttle to control space in front of your vehicle, because you can always control that space in front of your vehicle. The only time that you should be using the brake are slowing down to turn, slowing down to stop, or behind other traffic that's doing one and the same. Controlling your speed on a downgrade or unexpected events. Those are the only 4 times that you should be using the brake. If you're using the brake to control space in front of your vehicle, you are following too close. As well, tailgaters. If you got tailgaters on the highway, it often means that they want you to speed up because you're going too slow. So keep your eye in the center mirror and your wing mirrors. Watch the traffic that's going on behind you. If you got tailgaters, increase your space in front even more so you don't have to do aggressive braking or other actions. As well, if there's a safe place to pull off the road and let them pass. That's the way you deal with tailgaters. Number 3, the road markings. Pay attention to the road markings. Here we have a painted island, road markings. We have a nice buffer of space between us and the oncoming traffic, but you can see that it goes back down to double solid here. At double solid, you cannot pass, and the reason is because of the railway crossing here. Railway crossings, you always want to move a bit to the right so that you stay out of the ruts and it's not as rough. As well, make sure that you're not braking when you're going over the railway track. That will allow the suspension to work on your vehicle. It's just easier on your vehicle. Okay, we have a cluster up here. It is summertime, and in the summertime you're going to get caravans, trailers, all these RV and recreational vehicles. You might even get some rental vehicles. People don't know where they're going or where they're lost, but oftentimes you get these RVs or there's caravans, and they are going to hold up traffic, and you're going to get these clusters of cars, these groups of cars, and you need to just stay out of that cluster. Just keep your space. Many of these 2-lane roads, you're going to have passing lanes every few miles. You have a passing lane that you can get over and you can get around these slower vehicles. But unfortunately, when you're on 2-lane skinnies like this, you're going to have to pay attention to that and see what's going on here. Okay, we got a truck sign here. On the left here, we can see that there's construction work, and that means that there could be a gravel pit or a concrete factory or any other type of area, lumber yard, whatnot, where trucks could be coming in and out and getting onto the highway, and you're going to get some dirt and other debris on the roadway, but also you're going to get slow traffic. Here we see that the road markings have gone back to double solid because we're getting into curvy roads and whatnot. Lane markings, and watch the lane markings in the middle because they are accurate. I've been very few places where the lane markings in the center of the roadway, which control passing, have not been accurate. You can see here that we can pass on this side, and we have a fairly long straight stretch of roadway that it's safe to pass. And the other traffic on the other side can be passing as well here with this dotted line, which indicates both sides can be passing. So you're looking up here down the roadway and making sure that there aren't vehicles in your lane that are passing and coming towards you in your lane. That way you want to move to the right to get out of the path of oncoming traffic and potentially avert being involved in a head-on crash. Tip number 4 is traffic signs. Pay attention to your traffic signs. Again, it goes into tip number 1 with intersections. Traffic signs will allow you to locate intersections and will give you all kinds of information about cautionary speeds for going around curves and corners to keep yourself safe. It's summertime. June, July, and August are the highest numbers for fatal crashes during the year. And right now in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in the worst 100 days of the year for fatal traffic crashes, especially for new drivers. So pay attention to all the road users. And you can see here the speed limit is 50 miles an hour. We're not even doing 45 miles an hour. And that is because of the caravan up here that's holding up traffic. But we can see here, we've come into dotted lines in the center of the road, so it's safe to pass here for a little bit. But we got motorcycles, we've got oncoming traffic and whatnot. We have an intersection off to the right here. We can see the cautionary sign that's warning of the intersection. And we've got a car off to the right here that's turning. So we're just gonna let off the throttle, off the accelerator, and we're gonna control that space in front of our vehicle to keep ourselves safe. We have another vehicle behind us now, and we're gonna keep track of that vehicle behind us. We have another intersection off to the right here. Another sign up here warning of animal crossing. So if it's sunset at night, you're coming into an area where there could be deers and whatnot, deer and other animals crossing the roadway, so you have to be on the lookout for that. In the evening, cannot pass. The lane markings have gone to not being able to pass here. We have another cautionary sign warning of a railway crossing ahead. Again, we're scanning the tracks and making sure that there aren't any trains approaching. Bicycle warning. And again, we want to move to the extreme right side of the railway crossing to get out of those main ruts so that it's nice and calm. Here we have a school zone. When children are present on the highway, it's reduced to 40 kilometers an hour. And so we just disengage cruise control, hit your cancel button, and slow down to 40 kilometers an hour, keeping your distance in front. The vehicle behind me is keeping a really good distance behind me. Double solid lines here. The other piece about traffic signs, don't just be reading the traffic signs. Look for construction signs, business signs, tourist signs, any sign that's going to give you an indication of what's happening in front of you. And some of it can be seasonal. For example, if you're going past the drive-in theater, that's going to be seasonal. In the summertime, that's going to be active at dusk, and there's going to be traffic slowing and turning into the drive-in theater. If you have some sort of tourist attraction along the highway, again, vehicles are going to be turning in. We've got a sign here on the right that says Mexican food and gas. There's some irony in that there's a sign that says Mexican food and gas. It may not be gas for your car, but people are going to be turning in. Drivers are going to be going into there to get fuel and to get something to eat, ice cream and whatnot. They're going to be turning. So again, that ties into your intersections and keeping yourself safe and knowing how those signs are going to cause traffic to change in front of you as you're driving along. So pay attention to not just the traffic signs, but other signs that are going along the highway. Cidery here, again, tourist, summertime, people might be going in to buy cider, slowing down on the highway and turning there. The last tip to keep yourself safe, tip number 5 is cruise control. Yes, you can use cruise control. We're doing about 50 miles an hour, and that seems to be a good space in front of us. So we're just gonna put it on cruise control and we're going to relax. Calm awareness of what is going on. Again, paying attention to the lane markings in the center of the road. We can pass, but the other side cannot pass because they have a curve coming up there. Smart points to remember. Intersections, locate the intersections. Where is other traffic going to come out and be coming on and off the roadway on which you're on? Space management, keep your 3 to 4 second following distance at minimum. If anything is in doubt or a hazard presents itself, increase your following distance even more, especially if you're being tailgated on the roadway. Road markings, pay attention to the road markings. They're accurate. Traffic signs, pay attention to the traffic signs and they will give you an indication of the traffic conditions that you can expect along that roadway. Especially on these 2-lane roadways, you're going to encounter animals on the roadway and big trucks and whatnot. And remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great day. Bye now.